Morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. So nice to see you all here this morning. Welcome to our Mind the Moments Tuesday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and who better to end our last year and begin our 2024 than Abe Dejene, one of the wonderful instructors with Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. Good morning, Abe. So nice to see you this morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year's to you and everyone else on this call as well. It's a great way to start a new year with practice to reset ourselves. So I'm truly grateful to share this practice with each one of you. So
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
it's so great to have you here this morning. So we feel lucky. So today we will start off with a question for the group, as we usually do. And Abe will share a few thoughts with us after that, and then just go right into at least a 12-minute guided meditation practice. And I mentioned guided. We'll have some time with guidance and some time with some silence. So anybody that's new to the practice, just in general, if this is part of one of your new 2024 activities or goals, we're so happy to be a part of it. So yeah, so we'll guide you throughout the process here. Then after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you could go down to the bottom of your Zoom screen and open up your chat. And once you open up the chat, you can click the blue drop-down menu that allows you to change that from host and panelists to everyone. And then you can see all of people's questions as they come in. All right, so with that, what question do you have for us this morning, Abe, to ask the group?
Thank you. I was thinking with the beginning of the new year, the opportunity to start fresh again. So the question I'm posing to the group is, when was the last time that you did something completely brand new or unfamiliar to you? So when was the last time you did something completely brand new or unfamiliar?
Okay. So I love the question. I think a few things come up for me, but I guess what I'll add is I took a painting class this past fall, and that was completely unfamiliar to me. So it was it was it was good. It was very humbling, but it was good. How about you, Abe?
It's
What comes up for
I
you?
was I was stumped for a while. It took me a while to come up with an answer to this question, which to me really highlighted how much patterns and habits I've developed over the year. So I went snorkeling about a month ago, so that was brand new for me. But it took me a while to really get to an answer, which was good insight for me to maybe start looking at things differently with new perspective and maybe trying some new things in 2024.
Yeah, yeah, and what a great inquiry to bring into our lives for sure. I love that snorkeling though. What a great, I mean, that's a fabulous new thing to try. Let's see what folks have said. Tried pickleball last Friday. Okay. That's a great, kind of popular activity these days. Oh, going to Omega for meditation retreat last fall. It was new and different and transformatively peaceful. Yes. A new dance class this fall. I love that. Joined a singing group this past fall. Haven't done that in 35 plus years. Wow, that's certainly, after that amount of time, it is brand new. Took a yoga/knitting class. I wonder if those are both, oh, combined class.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
that's
amazing.
different.
Yeah, that's really cool to combine those two. It's great. Very meditative, the knitting. a glass bead making class. Very interesting. The holidays threw a curveball as our holiday celebration was canceled. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Her mom had pneumonia. Yeah, that pivoting can be difficult, especially in something that's so planned, with everyone getting together. Yeah, so sometimes we're forced to try something new, right? Very interesting. Thank you for all of
Yeah, I
those.
think no, I think that just listening to people share their brand new experiences, just for me, with this practice, often it presents itself as an opportunity, whether it's something brand new or something that's familiar, but to still have that new, fresh beginning, that new perspective. So it could be the same team maybe you're having last year, you're still continuing to have it today, or the same walk around the park. So it doesn't always necessarily have to be something brand new, but mindfulness can really support us in bringing that fresh and new perspective to things that we might be doing continuously as well. So it could be supportive in both ways. And it's really nice to start some new things as well.
Mhm. Yeah, very true. The way our perspective, how we do, like you said, that walk can be completely different depending on our mindset. Yeah,
So
it's great.
I think someone just chatted in something new in there.
Yeah, tried a new recipe with mussels and did a family craft. Ah, hummingbird swings. That's great. Yeah, recipes, boy, that can be a new perspective. Just one different recipe, and that can make everything new. So that's a great way to look at things as well. Thank you.
With that, we could transition to the practice unless you wanted to add something else, Suzanne.
No, I think it's great timing.
All right. So with that said, why don't we find a comfortable posture that will support you for this practice? And even as you think about choosing this posture for this practice, notice where the habits and patterns come into play. So often, even in our practice, there's a tendency when someone says, get ready for practice or choose a posture to immediately go to what's habitual, what's comfortable. So to be really intentional, even in choosing the posture before we begin this practice, maybe asking yourself, what is it that will be more supportive today? Maybe it's sitting down, maybe it's standing up, maybe it's laying down. So just to really inquire internally to what is it that you need in this moment, and then to lead with intention, even as we begin the transition into our posture. So with that said, I invite you to intentionally choose a posture that works for you. And if there's any additional movement that can be supportive before we transition into stillness, I really encourage you. Maybe it's rolling out the neck, the shoulders, drink of water, whatever it may be, just to offer that to yourself. And then whenever you feel ready, I invite you to gently and gradually come into stillness. And often it could be supportive to lower the gaze or close the eyes completely, turning the awareness inwards to what's happening for you now. And as you begin to settle into this posture, as the body tries to find its equilibrium, you might notice some sighs or some release, or really giving some grace to the body to find a position that's accessible, supportive. With each exhale, notice you let go of any effort that's not conducive or needed in this moment. Or maybe choosing to release the shoulders away from the ear, soften the jaw, the forehead, and anywhere else you might notice any tightening or gripping in the body. I think there's a possibility to soften it. And we're just setting the intention to do so. the body might or might not respond. Let's set the intention to soften the body just as it is. Now the invitation is to identify a sensation in the body that's neutral, accessible, a place you could gently allow your attention to rest. There might be sensation in the feet, the hands, could be the sit bone on the chair or the cushion, or maybe the spine against the backrest. Or identifying one region of the body where sensation is available to you. And then allowing for your attention to rest there, letting this be the anchor for this moment. Just being really intimate with what's available to you. Maybe it's pulsing, vibration. Maybe there's discomfort or tingliness. But what the sensation is not that important. Just in allowing us to meet the body just as it is without needing to change it. Every time you notice the mind splinter off into rumination or planning, just be aware of it. And then with kindness and friendliness, once again, invite the mind back, that specific sensation in the body without any force or pressure, allowing it to gently rest there. And then when you feel ready, the invitation now to gently shift the attention to sound. And that could be the sound and space you're in, the sound the body's making, my voice, or from your external environment. Just allowing it to come to you rather than you seeking out for it. Being aware of any judgment, liking, disliking, aversion. Now, once this exploration of sound feels complete to you, I invite you once again to pivot your attention to the breath. And this could be at the rise and the fall of the belly, the openness, the contraction of the chest, the base, the upper lip, nostrils. But wherever you notice the breath most alive and vivid, I invite you to gently Allow your attention to rest there. Allow this to be your anchor now. Being really intimate with the breath, being curious about the depth, shallowness, the consistency or lack thereof. Once again, you don't have to change how you're breathing, but often bringing awareness to it has a tendency to shift how the body operates in the body. Once again, you're noticing that the mind is restless or agitated. Just be aware of it. And then once again, kindly invite it back to the breath as a way to re-engage with this moment just as it is. And as we go into a longer period of silence, I invite you to choose any of the anchors that we've explored, whether it's the sound, the breath, or a physical sensation. And then allowing this to be your anchor for the duration of this practice, a place you come back to every time you find that the mind is distracted. wherever you may be on your journey now. Just notice if there's anything new that's being experienced in this moment. Maybe it's a sensation in the body that you weren't aware of. Or maybe the breath is operating in a way that's really new to you. Being really curious about what's coming into your awareness, especially if it's something new and unfamiliar to you. And wherever you may be on this journey now, once again, I invite you to come back to the anchor if you're not there. As we come towards the end of our practice together, I invite you to bring gentle, small movements, maybe starting with the fingers and the toes, and then gradually allowing for that movement to be more pronounced, rolling out the wrist, the ankle, and then gradually adding more and more movement to the body. Maybe it's the rolling out of the neck, the shoulders, really being intentional in this movement. And then whenever you feel ready, the eyes are closed. I invite you to gently flicker them open and then take in your surroundings as a way to reorient yourself into the physical space. And whenever you're ready, once again, to rejoin us in this panel, in this community. And thank you all once again for trusting me to lead you in this practice. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Abe. Really peaceful and relaxing practice. Very grateful for it. Thank you.
Most welcome. And then just maybe these last few minutes we have together, anybody has any questions, insights, or inquiries, please feel free to bring it into the chat and we could go back and forth and into some sharing as well.
You know, it's interesting. I noticed when you asked us to check in and see if there was anything new that we were noticing. I checked in with my body, and I think we've realized that there's always something new in the body that we can notice or connect with. And I was noticing that my back was a little bit tense, and it was really a good thing to check in that way. Because I did notice that. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not usually tensing up there. So I was able to bring my breath and just use the out breath to release a little bit. So I liked that that chance to connect with anything that was new. Really worked.
Yeah, I think it's so often, even in my own practice, the default to habits and patterns that it's often helpful for me to remind myself in my practice as well, like what is actually here and what could be felt, what could be seen, what is new. And then that, to me, at least, it's almost like a cue to my brain, like, oh, like this seems like the same practice, but it's actually not. It's completely different than the one I had yesterday or the day before. So and I try to apply that as well. And into my informal practice as well. It's
Mhm.
a lot of interesting inquiries tend to come up.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that because it's interesting. And like you said, every practice is different. And if someone here is new or, this is the first time you've meditated and you found you were constantly, you know, being distracted or your mind wanders and, every practice is different. So I guess that's another thing to add is just stick with it because it will change.
And that's such an important point. Sometimes there's a misconception of meditation looking a certain way or operating a certain way. So people often get deflated or disappointed when their practice doesn't look sort of how it's been commercialized, especially in the Western society. So for those who are just starting out their practice or new to this practice, just to really have some patience around it and then maybe setting aside any expectations, but instead really giving yourself some grace just to be here and then see what could be experienced in that moment. And then just trust that some days the mind will be scattered all over the place. Sometimes it's much easier to rein it in, but just to understand that this is not linear. It's not a trajectory that goes in one direction, but just to really have grace towards yourself and your practice.
Yeah, that's the perfect word is grace. So thank you so much, Abe, for being with us this morning and for starting our year off in this way. I think it was a perfect way for us to reorient ourselves. So
Yeah. No, thank you for having me. And as we enter this new year, as we get off this call to do all these other things that are waiting for us, I think there's a possibility to really bring that freshness, that new perspective into whatever you're doing, whether it's the same thing you've done in the past or something brand new. Maybe you drink your tea a little differently. Maybe that walk looks a little differently. So it doesn't have to be anything major or dramatic, but even infusing this newness into our day-to-day, moment-to-moment actions has a tendency to really change our relationship with life. At least that's been my experience.
very, very true. Yes. Well, that's a perfect way to guide us towards the end of our time together. So again, we're grateful for having you
Grateful
here.
to be here as well.
Yeah, and grateful for the group for joining us this morning. And yeah, as we all, move into our day, having this newness of just anything that we can look at our days or our activities and bringing that newness, I think is a great way to think about as we begin the week. So thank you again, and great to have everybody here. And we will be back here again tomorrow morning. So hoping to see anyone that can join tomorrow. All right. See you all soon. Thanks again,
Thank
Abe.
you. See you all. Of
Bye.
course. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. You as well. Bye-bye.